Welcome everyone, my name is Carol, I am the founder of Parentally, and we are a platform dedicated to the well-being of new and future parents. And what we do in a nutshell is we help parents find all the extra care and support they may need during pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and their first years of parenthood. So we share information, community support, and also professional support. And today we have our guests from Uitgerust daarin, Marian and Nienke, who are both certified child sleep consultants. And I'm going to give you the floor to introduce yourself maybe for this live. Yes.
Hi all, welcome. Thanks for having us here.
Pleasure.
Yes, my name is Marian. I'm a child sleep consultant since 4 years now. Have a background in social science, worked at large corporates, but when my eldest daughter was born, she didn't sleep very well. We started working with sleep consultants, and that was for me the turning point to make a career switch. Do it now since 4 years, and last year together with my companion Nienke.
Yeah, my name is Nienke. I'm a mom of 3. My oldest is turning 7 this weekend, and my second is 5, and the youngest is 1.5. My oldest was also a very bad sleeper in the first half year, so I had to walk around with him, like rock him. He was only sleeping on me, so after a few months I was exhausted. And when I started working on his sleep, like a new world opened for me. And I was like, why didn't I know anything about this? Like children and sleep, and there's so much to know, and it's so interesting. So that was like the first moment that I thought, oh, okay, it is interesting. But in the end, a few years later, I decided to change my career and to become a child sleep consultant for myself. So that's 3 years ago now. And yeah, since a year, we're working together at Uitgerust daarin. And yeah, that's going really well.
Yeah, we help more than 250 families now, so still enjoying it very much.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm so happy that you are both on Parentally with Uitgerust daarin. And just like you, I experienced so many challenges with the sleep of my children. So I'm very excited that we are doing this session today. So just before we get started, I just wanted to say that this session is indeed recorded. So we will share it on the feed later on, and also on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe at parentally.nl. And the idea of this session today, it's a live one to allow you parents or parents to ask all your questions to our child sleep consultants. And I have already received a few questions. Maybe we can start with these ones, but please feel free to ask all your questions in the comments, and we will try to answer them all. And the first question that we got is, how many naps should my baby do as the baby is 1 year old? Is there a number of naps?
Depending, like, is your baby just turned 1, or is he 1.5, or more towards 2? But if your baby just turned 1, then we always advise to have 2 naps. So 1 early morning nap, 1 afternoon nap, so that it spreads over the day. Times vary widely, depending on the age of the child, but also how much sleep your child needs. Most children have 2 naps until 16 to 20 months, more or less. So between that time, they transition into 1 nap. So if your child is 1.5 years or older, so to say, most likely they still need 1 nap. So that's, but again, some children of 14 months only need 1 nap. Some children of 19 months are still needing 2 naps. Yeah, that can vary greatly, but yeah, between 16 and 20 months, that's the time when most children make the change to 1 nap.
I would like to dig a little bit deeper into this question, actually.
Yeah.
Is there an average duration for the nap in the afternoon that children should not, go over? Sometimes parents, they often wonder, should I wake my child up
Yeah,
because
good
maybe he
question.
won't
Yeah.
sleep
Yeah,
in the
so the
evening.
naps during the day, if your child does do 2 naps, you have an early morning nap. Very often the children already go to late for their first nap, so it's really early in the morning already, say 9:30 latest, and early in the afternoon. So like 12:31. These are guidelines. That's not strict, but let's say around about that. And so if your child sleeps from 1 till 2, like 2 hours, 1 till 3, 2 hours is really okay. If your child sleeps more than 2, going to 3 hours, you might want to ask yourself if your child compensates for other naps or for the night, or so 2.5 hours is really okay for the afternoon nap, and better not to sleep after 4,
Yes.
to make sure you
Not too
build
late.
up the sleep for
Pressure.
the night, the sleep pressure for the night as well.
So no
And
late.
also
No,
just to say,
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
it's still varying greatly because you have children that can sleep like 2 very long naps and still go to bed at 7 and sleep the whole night. So we're always a bit careful with saying this amount of sleep should your child get during the day, because it differs quite a lot. So look at your child, but we're never really promoting parents to wake up their child actively. Like, okay, we kept the nap with 30 minutes or 45 minutes, unless there's a reason for it. So if you say, okay, my child doesn't fall asleep for the next nap, or my child doesn't fall asleep at bedtime, then we can sometimes advise it, but we always look further, like, okay, might there be another reason why your child has difficulties falling asleep at nighttime? Because it's not always because they slept too long during the day. Sometimes it can also be that they're just too tired, their bedtime is too late. So it's not a very simple answer, so to say, but in general, we always say, let your child just sleep and let them make up their own rhythm, and they will sleep how much they need if you provide like the right setting, so the right timing, the right, the bed, like the room, everything is in place. Your child will probably sleep, if your child knows how to sleep well, how long it needs to sleep.
That's very interesting. And I think you mentioned something very important, that today we are sharing advice that's general advice, but of course it depends on the children, on the conditions, on a lot of different things. So to take with a pinch of salt. We got a second question, which was, do you recommend to have the baby sleep in complete darkness?
Yes, generally we do. If your child is sleeping not in complete darkness and sleeping is going very well, then it's fine. But the children what we work with usually have some difficulties sleeping or falling asleep or sleeping through the night. So then we always say complete darkness is the best, because darkness promotes the production of melatonin, and melatonin is the sleepy hormone, and that's just required to fall asleep and to sleep through the night and to sleep the hours you need. So if sleeping is a thing or is difficult for your child, always look at the room. Is it really, really, really dark, like you can literally not see anything anymore? Then it's fine. But a lot of parents say, yeah, we have those blackout curtains, but then you have light amongst the sides and above the curtains, and you can still see a lot in the room. And so that can block your production, but also for the child when it's older, it can be a distraction, like he sees his toys or all the other things and just wanting to get out of bed and play. So yes, absolutely dark room.
And also for the naps?
Yes.
It's the same, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Except for very young babies, but then we're talking about like the early weeks, newborn. They don't have that day and night. They don't produce melatonin yet. So then you can keep the windows open or the curtains open during the day for some daylight. But after a few weeks, for them, it's also good to start sleeping in a dark room.
Thank you. That's very good to know. I didn't know that.
But like you say again, if it's going well and the room is not pitch dark, then it's fine. Then your child is just not so sensitive for it. Yeah.
All right. The third question, can co-sleeping help my baby better sleep? So co-sleeping is when you sleep next to your baby, right?
Yes. Yeah, your child is in another bed. The question that pops up in my mind when I have when I hear this question is, what is the issue that you want to solve with co-sleeping? Because co-sleeping is really okay if you as a parent want to co-sleep with your child sleeps well, it's really okay. But if you want to solve another issue, for example, sleep associations, or your child is overtired and has difficulties to fall asleep, then co-sleeping is not a solution for that. Co-sleeping can be really nice for children to be close to their parent, but it's not really a solution to sleep better.
I understand. Unfortunately, I don't have any more details about this question, but if the person who sent this question wants to give us more details, please do so in the comments. And we have another question in the comments. Yep. From Olena Drost, and it's, what are your opinion on sleeping baby with parents in one room? Would it be difficult to separate a kid when she or he is 1.5 years old? We will not have a separate bedroom for 1.5 until 2 years. Yep.
Yeah. No, there's not a problem, not at all. We always say, if it works for you, then it works for you. We will never tell parents, you have to do this because, maybe sometimes for safety reasons, but not for, if your child is sleeping in your bedroom and you're okay with that, you can sleep with your child until, I don't know, until you're done with it, or until your child, needs his own room.
Yeah, or have space then in this.
And sometimes it's just like there is not another room available. Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes we see that the transition to the other room, it's a change, but it's usually not so much different than another transition, like if you move rooms. And again, for that, you have sensitive sleepers. So they're already like a bit out of balance when you change their bed, when you move from the crib to a bigger bed, or those kind of things. But if you have like a very good solid sleeper, then it will be fine. But no, there is nothing against it to sleep with your child in the same room. Absolutely not.
And again, if your child is 1.5, 2, and then he gets his or her own bedroom, you can also make it like a really nice event together, and then still there can be some separation thingies going on, but very often after a couple of days, children can get along really well with a new way of sleeping. If this is what it is, and you're really determined to get that transition in place, then children will react on it very fast as well.
Thank you for this answer. I think it's great, and it's a great idea to make it a party too, like a big transition. Marian, you mentioned something in the previous question. You mentioned sleep associations. What is this? Could you please clarify?
Yeah. So sleep associations are basically all the things that a child needs to fall asleep. And you have like helping sleep association. A child can fall asleep while sucking on a pacifier. Some children like rock themselves into sleep. Some, these are all helping sleep associations, but you also have non-helping sleep association. And these are the things that a child needs from you as a parent to fall asleep. So that can be that the parent needs to give the pacifier to their child, or that the parent needs to rock their child into sleep, or breastfeed or feed into sleep. So these are all things that if your child wakes up in the night, then he or she cries, and then a parent needs to help the child to fall back asleep. And if a child needs help in the evening to fall asleep, then when a child wakes up in the night, they also need help to fall asleep.
I see. That's very clear, and actually it was a great transition to the next question that we had. My child uses a pacifier. Is that okay to fall asleep?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you are, as a parent, are okay with it, then it's okay. Just be aware of the fact that for young children, it can be a strong association, or it can become a strong association, which means that every time that the pacifier falls out and your baby wakes up, you need to get out of bed and give the pacifier back, because that's just usually around, it's a bit depending on the development, but from 7-8 months, babies can start putting the pacifier back in their mouth by themselves. But before that, yeah, it's you that has to help. So if it's becoming such a strong sleep association, it can be bothering. If you're fine with it, you're fine with it, because once they're older, they can do it themselves. Then it can be a really nice thing if your child really likes the sucking on the pacifier. So yeah, there's no right or wrong. It's just be aware of that it can cause the baby waking up and asking for you to help giving him the pacifier back.
Yeah, so if
But
your
it's
child's
just
if your child's a bit older, like 1 or so, then you should really teach your child to take the pacifier by him or herself.
Yeah.
So first, if you start, then keep on.
From 8-9 months usually you can start teaching your child, hey, okay, I'm not doing it, you give it in your hand and put it in your mouth. They're smart enough, they know fast enough that they can do it and how they can do it themselves. So again, it's up to you.
I just wanted to kind of double click on this question, and I think the question that goes with it is, until when is it okay for the child or for the baby to have the pacifier to go to sleep? Because it's often a struggle to get rid of that.
Well, we always say, like, you either do it like after the first few months, so then the sucking desire goes down. So I don't know, it's like between 5 and 8 months, or 5 and 10 months, something. And after that period, the attachment really kicks in. Then you can better wait a bit longer, and when they're older, you can really make a thing of it. Just like Marian said, with the new room, you can say, okay, you're almost 3, or they're getting a baby brother or sister or nephew or something. Okay, it's time to move over. We give the pacifier to your little sister or brother. You're old enough now. You can do it only with your animal, or you give another blanket or knee. You can really do it together, work to it, and then of course sometimes it can be difficult, but sometimes it can go surprisingly easy. They feel really big, like, okay, no, I'm big now and I don't need it anymore, but they need to be older for that. If you do that with a stubborn 2-year-old it can be difficult. So then we always say it's better to wait until they're 3, around their 3rd birthday usually is a good moment.
Great advice. Thank you very much. We got another question in the comments from Anka, and she asked, is it okay to let baby sleep in swaddling bag also during the day, or is it better only at night?
That depends. I don't know how old the child is. I suppose this is a very young child, a newborn. Swaddling is okay, but until the time that your child starts rolling. So if your child is able to roll from belly to most of the time from back to belly, there it starts very often, then you should stop swaddling your child, because then it can be dangerous. If your child can turn somehow, then probably he or she is not able to turn back. So then you should really stop it. If you want to swaddle your child in the evening, in the morning, because your child has the Moro reflex thing, probably is really waving their arms very often, then it can really help soothe the child.
Anka, I hope it answers your question. And to the audience, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I have one more here. When to drop the nap for a toddler? How do you know it's time?
Oh, nice one. Well, usually, but again, it varies greatly, between 3 and 4 years. So actually, it's much longer than most parents think, because around the age of 2, 2.5, a lot of children, they get the understanding of, hey, I can say no, and sometimes I get no if I say no, so they can start refusing the nap. But okay, you always have exceptions, but by far, like, let's say 95% of the children definitely still needs a nap around that time. So in general, between 3 and 4 year old, but there are always kids that need it longer also, but stop a bit before. But like majority of the kids, 3 to 4 years.
And at 4 years, you start basisschool, and you don't nap anymore. So is there a necessity, for instance, to try and do a little bit of transition time if a child is
What you
Yeah,
can
you
do is you can there can be a transition period that you offer your child a nap in the
Ah,
weekends, for
yes.
example, on Wednesday when you're earlier out of school. So this can help. It can be also before the age of 4. There can really be a transition period of a couple of months.
yeah.
Children sometimes need a nap, sometimes they don't, depending on the day and the activities.
My son, my oldest, he napped for a very long time. He only stopped quite just before he went to school. And I think like for almost the first year at school, he napped on Wednesdays, Fridays, and he was
Oh,
off like at 12:30, and 1 or 2 days in the weekend. So let's say half of the week he was napping. And I didn't put him in bed, but because that phase was past. But yeah, after lunch he was just laying on the couch, either
that's
by himself
amazing.
or going
Yeah.
together just to chill, and he was out. Yeah, but for a lot of children, and it's very normal because starting school is exhausting for most
Yeah.
kids. It's so new, and the days are long, and a lot is going on, and so it's completely okay. If your child needs it, then there's no reason to stop that. But also for that, keep in mind that it's happening like early afternoon. So don't let him nap
Yes.
at 4 in the afternoon, because you also want to have him in bed around not too late, because yeah, they need their night sleep as well, because day sleep is different than night sleep. So day sleep is just like a short break, but night sleep is really the rest and recover.
Yeah,
so
and
that
if
are
they
things to keep in mind.
Yeah, and if they sleep too long during the day, then it can also be in the way of falling asleep in the evening.
True.
So
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
make it a 2 or 3 hour nap.
No.
Make it a short nap so that they are able to do the rest of the day.
And that's why, for example, the couch, or maybe if you're going somewhere in the weekend, the car is good, because then they usually don't sleep much longer than an hour. If you really would put them in bed,
Yes.
like, and close the curtains, then it can be like a very long nap. So, but again, like, it's different for every child, but yeah. And if your child really, really needs it, I think there are ways, particularly when they're just 4, if it's also possible for you to combine with work, that you can take them from school. I mean, they don't have to sit there sleeping in the class, you know. So,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I still have 2 questions from the question box. This one is, how long should a baby sleep in the nights? But it doesn't say the age, so yeah.
Good question. There's not yeah, we're always hesitant about sharing strict guidelines because it really varies, and it depends on if young children still do naps during the day. What is the quality of the naps? Normally, like babies, young children could need 11 or even 12 hours of sleep, but then it also quickly changes because the naps and because the development of and the age of the children. As you can imagine, when children do 2 naps and then they drop 1 nap, then whoop, they should go a bit earlier to bed and make a bit of a longer night because they still need a lot of sleep. And then maybe they can go to bed a bit later, but then when they drop the last nap, you should also bring them to bed a bit early and they can make a bit of a longer night again. So it varies as well.
And we have one last question. Thank you for this answer. When to start with a night trainer?
With a night trainer, I think is meant the sleeping clock, sleeping alarm. So you have those
Yes,
alarms,
probably. Yeah.
that turn off on a light on a certain time that you can set as a parent. Yeah.
Like green and orange.
Yeah, like the okay to wake time. I would say 2.5 earliest, because before that it's a very difficult task for children to wait until a certain time to turn into orange, yellow, green. So if you introduce it too early, it can cause a lot of frustration, both for the child as for the parents. So don't do that too early. And be realistic what you can expect from your child. But yeah, some children from 2.5 are ready for it. If your child is not, then wait a few months and introduce it again. It will work, but they need to understand the sort of aspect of time, and that they have to wait, but also they need to have some patience. So not too early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
I'm very curious about these night trainers. Do they work on every
Yeah,
children, or it depends?
good question. This is what Nienke just said. It's about setting expectations. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot expect from a young child to just follow the color straight
Mm-hmm.
away. Oh, it's orange. It's okay to be awake, but I can't go out of my room. And then it's green, I go out of room. But it's also a matter of empower your child, to let your child also think about, hey, what does it mean? What can I do now? Maybe if it's orange, the child is able to play in his or her room. So it's a matter of read a book, of empowering your child in the choices that he or she can
Mm-hmm.
make.
yeah, and also when they're older, you know, you can say, and oh, no, sorry, not from where. What I was gonna say, if your child regularly or standard wakes up around 5:30, then this is not a magic pill
Yes,
that
okay.
he will sleep longer. It's only that he needs to wait for an hour and a half by himself. So also be aware of that. If your child structurally wakes up so super early, see if you can work on that and change maybe something that he will sleep longer instead of using a sleep trainer, because I see it more as a reverence for your child, that you say, okay, we all wake up at 7 or 6:30 because that's the time that our alarm goes off. So that's also the time we set the alarm for our child, so he knows that we start the day.
Yeah.
But it's not like a magic tool that if your child wakes up at 5, that you let him sleep until 6:30. That's just not how it works.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, an important side note.
I see. Thank you very much for this answer. And I've asked all the questions that I have got from the question box. Are there any other questions from the followers today? Please ask us in the comments. We still have a little bit of time. But already I would like to say thank you very much to the both of you for doing this with us today. It was really fun and really insightful, really interesting.
Yeah, great questions. Thanks
Yes,
a lot.
and also some things that I wish I'd known before. But now my kids are too old, so yeah. But I still don't sleep very well, so it's not over.
And maybe
Thank you, everyone.
You can always head out to the website to see, you know, to schedule a 15-minute call, to see if we can help, how we can help. Yeah, that's free of charge.
Yes.
Some people are a bit afraid.
Okay, we'll wait 1 more minute, but indeed, I will share this Instagram live, this video in our feed, also with all the contact details of Marian and Nienke, if you want to reach out to them, ask them questions, or like they said, just schedule a free introductory call. It's non-binding. Please feel free to do so. And thank you very much, ladies. I don't have any more questions, so I think we're going to end it here. But thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this live. We hope you enjoyed it. We have so many more also on our channel. So please don't forget to subscribe to parentally.nl. Wishing you all a beautiful day and see you soon. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.